Welcome back to the Viata International channel here on YouTube. My name is Teacher Carl and we are going to have another lesson in English today. In today's class, we're going to have a look at introducing yourself. Now, you may think that this is a very basic level of English. However, it's a very dynamic and explosive topic and can take many different avenues. So let's have a look and get into it. So first, I've broken it up into personally and professionally. The way that you introduce yourself in these two situations is going to be completely different. So let's take personally first. Now, usually we have a set of criteria that people are going to want to know about yourself in order to form the basis of whether they want to talk to you or maybe they don't. So obviously we're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to use a basic greeting. So it might just be hi, it could be hello, or maybe even how's it going. Then the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously give your name. So you may just say, hi, my name is Carl, or I'm Carl. Next, you're probably going to want to talk about where you're from and where you live. Now, this can have cultural significance depending on who you're talking to. If you're talking to somebody who's from the same city, then you can instantly have a connection. Or you have somebody who's from the same country from you, again, a cultural connection that you can instantly latch onto. And finally, usually people like to speak about the kind of job they do and where they work. So I would say that I'm a teacher and I work at Viata International Academy. These are all very basic. However, it's very important that if we are in a personal situation and we're looking to meet new people, these are the kinds of things that we want to give to them first. They can help them to form an understanding of whether you're the kind of person who they're going to get along with, and it can form friendships going forward. But are there any alternatives? Now, a thing to mention here are the three important impacts that we need when introducing yourself. Number one is going to be confidence. If you don't have any confidence, no one's really going to believe anything you say, or your words are just going to sound a little bit weak. Eye contact. Very important to maintain eye contact. Not for the whole time like a freaky weirdo, but good strong eye contact without the need to look away or to look at the floor or to look over here. It's also good to show that you are interested in what the other person is saying. And finally, body language. You want to be open and receptive. You definitely don't want to be like this with your arms folded, looking at the floor or fiddling with your fingers. You want to give the person your complete undivided attention and be completely open with what you're doing. So back to the alternatives. Now, this is going to require a lot of confidence. In some situations, we may choose to pick up on a particular part of a person's personality, what they're wearing, what they look like, or any other thing that we may be interested in. We can then use this to start a conversation. Now, the great thing about this is that you're very likely to have a shared interest in a topic. For example, you may see somebody who's wearing a very fancy jacket that you really like. In which case you could approach them and say, hey, I really like your jacket, your jumper, or I often approach people with really nice trainers to ask them where did they get it. And that can instantly build a conversation, build rapport, and be the start of a beautiful friendship. Or how about if you have a very strong interest in music? Let's just take the band Nirvana as an example. And you can hear somebody in their headphones, you can hear the gentle, aggressive, yes, they are quite gentle, aggressive tones of Smells Like Teen Spirit. So you may approach them and say, sorry, is that Nirvana that you're listening to? Again, you will instantly have a very good connection with that person, a shared interest. Or maybe you could see somebody who's wearing a football shirt And you're a big fan of football, so you may just approach them and say, gosh, I can't believe that Liverpool won the cup. Again, it's the same scenario. You're instantly forming rapport with that person. So let's have a look at how we might introduce ourselves professionally. Now, this might be surprising. When we initially meet the person or people, we're going to make a very formal introduction, okay? We're going to say hello. We're not actually going to say I am, which may seem a bit foreign. However, when we're making professional introductions, we very often leave out the I am or my name is. We simply just go with our name. So we would be very confident, we would offer a firm handshake, and we would say, hello, Carl Horgan, nice to meet you. Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky, because where the conversation goes from there is not down to you. It's down to the person who you're having an interview with or a prospective business meeting with. Now, they could take it one of three ways. They could continue to take it along the professional route. They could decide to make it personal, or the dreaded nowhere. They could just say absolutely nothing after you've spoken. This is instantly going to leave you anxious and nervous. However, don't worry, I'm going to tell you what you should do in this situation. Let's take professional first. If they keep it professional, it's a good idea to say something like, I have been researching your company, or I really like the work style of the company, or perhaps something like your progress has been really impressive. You want to give a statement or something that shows that you have taken active interest, a professional interest in the company or the business that you're having the meeting about. What if they take it personal? Now, this does happen probably more often than you imagine. You come to meet the person, you make your formal introduction, and they completely catch you off guard, for example, by talking about the football result. In which case, it's very important that you make your reply relevant. If he starts or she starts talking about the football and you don't really like the football, don't say that. Try and improvise something. Try and make your answer relevant to the statement that they have just said. If they're keeping it personal, make sure you adopt a very relaxed tone. Also, make sure you are calm and approachable in your body language, and also friendly and affable. A personal approach to a professional meeting or an interview is kind of going to take the same dynamic as if you were in a social situation. So you still want to impress on the personal, social level. And finally, what happens if they absolutely take it nowhere? Well, don't worry, no problem. If you introduce yourself, hello, Carl Horgan, nice to meet you, and all you're met with is a constant handshake and a deadly silence, don't worry, just instantly take it back to professional. The ball is back in your court. I've been researching this company and I think you're fantastic. I think this is a great business opportunity. I'm really looking forward to discussing this with you. Or perhaps something like, oh, your progress has been very impressive. I've been following it for the last few months. Anything that can take it back to the professional situation that you find yourself in. So that completes our look at introducing yourself personally and professionally. I hope there's something interesting in there for you and I hope you've learned something. If you have any comments, leave them down below and I look forward to reading them, and I'll see you in the next class.